And this administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America.
Comprehensive Community Action was created in 1964 with President Johnson's Economic Opportunity Act, the War on Poverty. We started with a very small grant to run baby checks out in Western Cranston, and then we've evolved now into a $22 million organization with over 300 employees. We have programs in our child care services, which is our Head Start daycare programs. Our social services component is our emergency fuel, weatherization, and food bank. Our family support services provides case management and services for families and children who are at risk of some type of family court involvement.
Another program in our family development component is the Learn to Earn program. In the Learn to Earn program, we provide job training services in a variety of areas and the GED program for young people who live in Cranston, Warwick, Pawtucket, and Providence.
And we have our health center, which is probably our biggest component. It's our health centers and our behavioral health component. We have 4 health centers, federally qualified health centers with behavioral health attached to each one. Comprehensive Community Action Agency is now the largest community action agency in the state of Rhode Island, 1 out of 8. We are very excited about a partnership we just started with the Kent Center. It's our first attempt to integrate behavioral health in with our primary care services, and we're so very excited about this partnership. It's a brand new partnership in the state. It's the first one of its kind in the state, and we're happy to bring that to the city of Warwick. Mayor Avedisian was becoming more and more interested in having a health center in his city. There was none, let alone a federally qualified health center. And Warwick being the second largest city in the state of Rhode Island, there really was a growing need for those services. So he had issued an RFP, which we applied to, and we were selected.
Joanne had the best proposal. It was a great fit. They're already next door in Cranston. They're already doing work in Coventry. And so it was a nice fit between Cranston, Warwick, and Coventry to be able to send people to any one of the agencies that were already operating. And then it became even more of a mission once Greg Wilcox said that he was going to donate a large amount of money to help on the capital campaign to have the health center named after his father, who was an old friend of my family's.
Everett C. Wilcox was my father. CCAP had the wherewithal to get involved with this project and see it through to the end. And Scott Avedisian knew that, and we all got together and put together a committee and a fundraising thing and went ahead with it.
And I remember the day that we were at the opening, we were in the parking lot, and Joanne turned and looked at an empty storefront and said, so our next project's going to be a dental clinic. And so one project was over, that was complete, and we were moving on to the next one. And that's one of the things I like about CCAP, is that it would have been really easy to say, okay, we reestablish a health center and it's done, but we were already looking at what was the next project that needed to be dealt with. So those unmet human needs, I think, is where they've always gone and what they've always looked at. 50 years of service. I mean, think of the hundreds of thousands of people who have been helped by an agency that doesn't have a huge budget, that has to fight for every dime that they get. And yet, you know, you talk to Joanne and she has a smile on her face from ear to ear about the work that she does. And how do people, you know, you wonder, how do people go to work every day when you know that it's all dependent on getting the next grant and getting the next, you know, funding cycle, and how do you make this work? And yet, you watch the work that they do, and they do it with incredible enthusiasm and deal with some of the most vulnerable people in our population. And yet somehow it survived for 50 years and it has a path to make it even more successful in the future. That's incredible.